So I got a comment or reply to a comment that I'd made on a video. I think it was one of the Beyond Their Imaginary Curve videos of Dell's, which says this. This is from TwistedChains. It says, Miles Davis, please explain. Just please explain what I think is possibly the best smoking gun evidence for flat Earth, which I learned from Dell, who is the person from Beyond the Imaginary Curve. Here it is. Please explain why an official NASA image from 1,000,000 miles away shows the moon passing in front of the Earth with a big Earth in the background. Meanwhile, another official image, a NASA image, shows a view from the moon's surface with a much smaller Earth in the background. If we're going back to basic principles of perspective, then wouldn't the Earth get bigger? If, say, as we are traveling from the satellites to the moon, then as we approach the moon and it gets bigger as we move closer, then wouldn't you say the Earth should get bigger as we are moving closer to it as well? I mean, on the moon's surface, we would be 760,000 miles closer to the Earth than we are from the satellite. That's more than 3 times the distance of what the moon is supposed to be from the Earth. Here are the NASA links. I would love to hear your explanation of this. Well, okay, TwistedChains. I will give you an explanation. I will send you a link to this video, so please come and have a look at it. The explanation is that it is perspective. Now, you mentioned perspective in here, but you clearly don't understand perspective. So essentially, perspective simply says things that are closer to you look bigger than things that are further away from you. So if you are standing on the surface of the moon is very large, and anything that you are looking at that is some distance away will appear relatively small. The Earth is still 250,000 miles away, or the best part of, from the moon, and so it appears as a relatively small object in the sky from that position, or in the darkness of space. There's not really sky on the moon, but okay. So the easiest way to demonstrate this is simply to do an experiment, and so that's what I've done. So have a little look at the rest of this and see if it explains what is actually happening. So here are the 2 images that TwistedChains refers to. So the first one shows the moon in front of the Earth is taken from just over 1,000,000 miles away from the Earth. So the moon is about 760,000 miles from the camera. And here is a second image, which shows the Earth as taken from the surface of the moon. You can see the surface of the moon in the foreground and the Earth in the background. And the Earth obviously appears small and the surface of the moon large, traveling from side to side across the picture. So here are 2 small balls that I managed to find kicking around at home. A blue ball that's rather bigger than the red ball. Red ball has slots in it, a bell inside, it's a cat toy. But they're not, I don't think, exactly proportional to the Earth and the moon, but they will serve well enough for the purpose we have here. I've placed them on the floor and a short distance apart, and I took a photograph from the floor level. And you can see that the red ball does appear to be much smaller than the blue ball in the background. And I'm about 4 times the distance away from the blue ball as the red ball is. I haven't put a tape measure on the floor. You'll have to trust me on this one, but that's the distance that I am away. So then I moved closer to the red ball. I tried to get as close as I could to the red ball. And I actually had to raise the red ball up in order to be able to get the camera to take this shot properly. But the distance from the blue ball is the same. And you can see that if you get very close to the red ball and take a picture of the blue ball, lo and behold, the blue ball appears smaller. And it appears smaller relative to the red ball. It doesn't appear smaller in real size, just smaller relative to the red ball, smaller in our field of view. So there you have it. Simple explanation for why the pictures are the way they are and your smoking gun evidence. Perhaps you'd like to explain why every photograph of the Earth taken from space shows that the Earth is indeed a sphere and is not flat. Thank you.